Hello and welcome back to our week 2 video lesson. As always, we're going to provide options throughout this video for whatever difficulty level you need to work on. So be sure to pause and play the video as much as you need. Even if I don't say pause or play, feel free to pause, practice, repeat as many times as you would like. And we're going to go ahead and get started by looking at our next scale. So last week we talked about our C major scale. Really easy one because it's all white notes all the way up. So our next scale that we're going to learn about today is G major. And G major is pretty easy, but we have one little thing that we have to do different. So for G major, our notes start on G, G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, and you can see that F sharp is the first black key in the group of 3 black keys. It's also, if we find F and we go to the black key to the right, that's F sharp. So let's try that one more time. If you're new to this scale, go ahead and pluck it out with just one finger with me. Ready, go. G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, left hand. G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. Awesome job. So we're going to go ahead and here's our level 1, right? We're going to go ahead and do our same finger pattern as last time. 1, 2, 3, thumb under, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, over, 2, 1. And for left hand, it's also the exact same as the pattern that we did for C major. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, cross, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, thumb under, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so simple enough. And your basic version that I would like for you to try is to do 2 octaves, so from G to G to G. Because doing 2 octaves is really not that much harder than 1. So we're going to go ahead and do that, fingering 1 time all together. Ready, go. 1, 2, 3, thumb under, 2, 3, 4, thumb under, 2, 3, thumb under, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, over, 2, 1, 4, over, 3, 2, 1, 3, over, 2, 1, left hand, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, over, 2, 1, 4, over, 3, 2, 1, 3, over, 2, 1, 2, 3, thumb under, 2, 3, 4, thumb under, 2, 3, 4, thumb under, 3, 4, 5. All right. So, and then if you want an extra challenge, try it doing 4 octaves, hands separately. If you want more of a challenge, try doing it hands together for 2 octaves. And even more of a challenge, do 4 octaves hands together. Try also doing it at different tempos. Make sure that you keep it consistent and steady at whatever tempo you choose. Make sure that you can actually play the whole thing at that speed with very little kind of blips or changes in tempo throughout. All right, great job. All right, so the next thing that we're going to look at here is tightrope walk. And the basic thing that we're learning to do on this page is play long and smooth and connected with our right hand while playing staccato with our left hand. So this is actually more easily said than done. It can be really difficult to play with a smooth and connected touch and long notes in our right hand and then do something different with our left hand. So we start out with getting my balance, which is the first exercise on the page. And we're going to be playing whole notes with our right hand and playing them really nice and smooth and connected. So we're trying to play really smoothly and slurred. You can even underline these slurs or highlight them. If you need a little bit of a reminder, you can do that through all of them. So for the first one, we're going to be doing whole notes in the right hand, quarter notes with a staccato in the left hand. So I would recommend go ahead and pause the video and practice it hands separately, counting it as you will actually count it to play. And then we'll come back and add it hands together. So pause and practice that hand separately. And then here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we stop. So notice how short and staccato and detached I made that left hand note. So next one, we have careful steps. So go ahead and pause the video and practice this one, hands separately, counting as you will count when we actually play it together. So make sure that you're actually counting the correct number of beats for both hands. And think heavy right hand and light left hand. So go ahead and pause and practice, and then we'll come back together and try this through. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Awesome. Now the next one is going to be the hardest one, because we're playing quarter notes with both hands, but legato with the right hand and staccato with the left hand. So it's going to be really different. This is the most challenging one. So go through and definitely probably play it several times, hands separately, counting out the exact rhythm that you're going to use, and then we'll try it hands together. So we're going to try it hands together kind of slow to start with, and then I'm going to provide you with a faster version too. So here's kind of our slower tempo. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. So, and if you need more practice at getting it up to that speed, if you need to keep working on it hands separately, absolutely do that. Here's a little bit of a faster version if you want a challenge. 1, 2, ready, go. And then if you want even more of a challenge, you can try this in different hand positions. So an easy one to do would be to try G position. Or you could try D position or A position or F position or whatever other ones you want to do. So take that opportunity to kind of explore, and if you want to maybe challenge yourself by trying a few of those other options, definitely go for that. So once you've worked on all those, we're going to look at our little advanced technique exercise. So while this is an advanced technique exercise, everyone can participate. You may want to just try hands separately and nice and slowly to start out with. So basically what we're doing for this one is we're taking 1 and 3 together, finger 1 and 3, and then finger 5, and then we step up, finger 1 and 3, then finger 5, then we step back down, finger 1 and 3, finger 5, finger 1 and 3 together, finger 5, we step down, we step back up, 1 and 3 and 5, step up, 1 and 3 and 5, and then chord, 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 and then we're going to do the same thing in the left hand. 3 and 5 together, 1, step up, 3 and 5 together, 1, step up, 3 and 5 together, 1, step down, 3 and 5 together, 1, step up, 3 and 5 together, 1, step up, 3 and 5 together, 1, step up, chord, chord, chord. All right, so if you want to practice it nice and slowly, hands separate, go ahead and stay there and work on that. If you want to add a little bit of a challenge, try hands together. 1, 2, ready, go. And if you need a little bit more time and a little bit more practice to be able to get it up to that speed, that is totally okay. Take the time and work on that at the pace that you need to and see how fast you can get it. You might be able to go. And that would be amazing, but work on whatever speed works best for you and take your time and practice that through. All right, so the next piece that we're going to look at is determination right here. So this is on the same page as Carefree, but you should have it in both of your packets for week 1 and week 2. So this is a nice and short piece. If you are looking for a challenge and want to use this as an opportunity to practice your sight reading, awesome. If you need a little bit more work on this one, try to practice it hands separately several times. So go ahead and try it through with just your right hand. And then try just your left hand. And make sure to count. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Rest, rest. All right, so go ahead and practice that through, hands separately if you need to, sight reading if that is the challenge that you're going for, and then we'll try it through all together. 1, 2, ready, go. Excellent job. So keep working on that one if you need to. If you need to take a little bit more time to try to get it up to that tempo, keep up the practicing. Try practicing it, saying your finger numbers out loud. Try saying your letter names out loud, and try saying your counts out loud and counting the rhythm aloud. All right, so we're gonna next look at our next part of our festive sonatina, which is gonna be the second page. So we have the first page over here, and we're gonna go ahead and look at the second page for today. All right, so for this piece, one of the most important things that you can do in the beginning is to go through and mark some things. So I'm gonna circle. Let's start with the left hand, which is pretty simple, but I'm gonna go ahead and highlight this first group at the top of the page. Other than this, our hands are in a normal C 5-finger scale for the whole left hand part here. Right up here, you're gonna reach up to grab the A with your thumb. You're gonna grab the A, and then the F is gonna be with your second finger. All right, then other than that, everything is gonna be in a C position. Then what I'm gonna go do is I'm gonna circle all my ties. And the ties mean that we're gonna hold it out instead of replaying. We're just gonna keep holding it. This is how I like to write it because we're gonna hold this one for this long. We're not gonna replay it when it gets here. Hold, hold, and I'm gonna circle all of the ties on my page. All right. And then I'm gonna circle all of the finger number changes. So our right hand at the top of the page starts on A, and then we go to G with our finger 5. And then we're gonna stay in that position for a little while. And then we're gonna bring over, you notice it goes finger 1, then finger 2. That means we're gonna cross our finger 2 over, or you can do a little hop if you want to. And you're gonna stay there until you get to right here, where you're gonna then cross your thumb back under, your thumb back under. This is exactly how we do it in our scales. Notice right here, this is just a C major scale, basically. I'm gonna circle that I have a grand pause right here. So once we get through this, you're gonna do a big pause. Then down here, I'm gonna move back to a C position. In this place right here, go back to a middle C. And then for the coda, everything is a normal C position until the very end, where I'm gonna do another C scale. So I'm gonna do my 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're just gonna bring our thumb under right there. And that's basically just how we've been doing it with our scales. So go ahead, and I would recommend for everyone to practice this page hands separately with counting. So we're gonna take a look at the left hand first and just count that. So I'm gonna start with my finger 1 on A, my finger 2 on F before I move back to my regular C position. So I'm gonna count, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, rest, rest. 1, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, rest, rest. 1, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, rest, rest. Rest, rest. Together, together, rest, rest. Hold, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, rest, rest. Grand pause, 2, 3, 4, C chord, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, rest, 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 rest. Keep on resting. Coda, rest, 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 rest. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Rest. 3. Rest. 1, practice this before. That way you can do it at this tempo. If you need to practice it several times before you're able to play it at a steady speed, make sure that you're practicing as much as you need. Here is the right hand part. So we start out with a 1, 2, and then notice the first thing in our right hand that we have is a rest. 1, 2, rest, rest, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, rest, rest, shift, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, rest, rest, 3, 4, cross, 2, 2, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, thumb under, thumb under, grand pause, 3, 4, together, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, right hand down, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, coda. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Get ready for C scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1 together on E and C. Excellent job. So again, you can break that down and practice as much or as little of it as is right for you. We're trying to work on this piece in small chunks. And again, you can take as long as you want to work on these sections. You can try it faster than that. You could try to memorize it if that part was fairly simple, or work ahead in the song. All right. So the next thing that we're going to do is look at our duet for today, which is Funeral for a Bird. Now we have this key signature in the beginning, and we haven't learned too much about key signatures yet. So if you are already familiar with this and know what to do, awesome. And if you're not so familiar, you are going to be playing in a C 5-finger position with both hands. And then you're going to take your third finger and bring it down to E flat, which is the top of the group of 2 black keys. And it's also, if we take our E and then we go just 1 note to the left, that's what we're going to be. So we're going to be C, D, E flat, F, G. And this is our hand position for the beginning. Notice what's really easy about this song is that both hands play the exact same notes the entire time. So if your right hand is playing a C, your left hand is playing a C, and so on. It is 2 pages, but they're pretty similar. So we're going to go ahead and go through your part. I would recommend practicing hands separately if you need to, and practicing nice and slow. And then for your actual part, you're going to move your hands up to play a little bit higher on the keyboard than normal. And we're going to go ahead and try playing this from the very beginning. And I'm going to say the note names out loud since they're the same for both hands. And I'm going to make sure that I'm ready to turn the page here. We'll start on C's with both hands. 1, 2, ready, go. C, C, C and G, G, G and F, E flat, D, 2, 3, 4, E flat, 2, 3, 4, C, 2, 3, hold it, C, 2, 3, keep holding, C, 2, 3, 4, 1. There we go. All right. So continue to practice trying it hands separately, hands together until you are ready to try it with the teacher part. So make sure that you're playing high on the keyboard and I'll count us in. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3. All right, so keep up the excellent work on that one and see if you can try that duet with at least part of the teacher accompaniment and see how it sounds. Staying on track with that is a lot easier said than done. It really isn't too simple. So make sure that you give that your very best try and see how you do. All right, so for your composition activity today, you should have the same packet as you had last week with a sight reading factory example in there, and it'll be just a short melody, as same as last week. Play through that melody a couple of times, and then add whatever you can add. So level 1 will be adding a simple left hand part. You can just make it up as you go along, or you can write it down. Level 2 would be to create a left hand part and also maybe make a little bit of a change to the right hand part. Level 3 would be to create a left hand part, maybe change up the right hand part a little bit, and then add a little bit extra to the piece, maybe a little bit more at the beginning or a little bit more at the ending. And level 4, create your own whole composition based on this and go crazy. I would love for you to share your compositions with me. So ask the grown-up at your house to send me if you want to write it down on your sheet music paper. I would love to see that. And if you have a recording of you after you've worked on it and you know exactly what you want to do, have a grown-up at home take a video of that and send it to me, because I would love to see what you come up with. That goes for all of the weeks. Please send me your recordings, and I would love to see what you do. For your listening activities this week, listening is kind of a pun because our composer is called Liszt. So he is one of the most famous composers of piano music. He was a Hungarian composer who was actually close colleagues with Chopin, who we talked about last time. So Liszt has a very different style than Chopin. He was a lot more bold and big and out there with the way that he wrote music. So it was really different than Chopin had more of a refined style. So you will find in your weekly document, your weekly guide document, a link to that listening playlist with a few of his most famous pieces. The same as last week, go ahead and listen through those. Try to identify maybe 5 musical traits of Liszt's work that you can hear. Think about which piece is your favorite. Try to maybe do a little bit more research on Liszt's music. You could do some more research on the Hungarian influences in his music. You could do a little bit more research on the French influences in his music. You could do a little bit more research on the fact that he is the founder of a lot of our modern piano teaching practices. He was the first person to turn a piano sideways at the concert so that the sound would project better. He is actually the person who came up with the term recital, like a piano recital, the way that we talk about our performances. So you could look up a little bit more about that. You could look at the fact that he became a priest later on in his life, which is really interesting. And you can also listen to more of his pieces. I tried to include his early music is very bold and was very much popular at the time. And then when he got older, the music that he wrote became a lot more avant-garde, as we say. So it was a little bit crazy, had some really interesting and unique sounds, and it almost sounded like a totally different composer. So I included a little bit of both of those, but I would encourage you to look up even more of his pieces that are from those later years of his compositions. And as always, I encourage you to listen to as many of the pieces as you want and maybe try to find some more of his pieces that you might enjoy. All right, so for theory this week, we're going to look at these pages. So this is our more basic theory side. You're going to select the C's that you see on this line. You're going to write in counts for eighth notes here. And remember that we count eighth notes as 1 and 2 and 3 and. So in a group of 2 eighth notes, one gets the number, one gets the and. And each beat can be divided if we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. It's just dividing in half. It's like counting 1, 1 and a half, 2, 2 and a half, 3, 3 and a half. That's basically exactly what we're doing right here. On the second page over here, you're going to do these intervals, which is, again, just naming the distance between the 2 notes. So 1 note to the next note is a second. 1 note, a skip is an easy one. That one's a third. So if you see a skip, you know that's a third, and so on. A helpful tip is also that if a note is like a space to a space or a line to a line, if they match, it's going to be an even number. And if it's a line to a space or a space to a line, it's going to be, it's going to be an odd number if they're the same. It's going to be an even number if they're different. I got that mixed up. And then at the bottom here, you're going to circle which one you think you hear. So they have A and B for these 6 examples. And I'm going to play one of them, and you're going to choose which one you think you hear. So try to listen for, is it going lower or going higher? Because that's going to be the main difference that we're going to have. So here's number 1. You tell me if it's A, which is the top, or B, which is the bottom. I'll play it again. All right, so circle which one you think it is. And here's number 2. Here it is again. listen for the end of that one. That one's going to tell you. All right, here's number 3. Here it is again. Okay, here's number 4. Right, here is number 5. Here it is again. And here's number 6. Here it is again. All right, so make sure that you write down all your answers. Listen to it one more time if you need to. And then I'll tell you the answers in 3, 2, 1. 1A, 2B, 3A, 4B, 5A, 6B. Okay, so if you got some wrong, go back and listen to it and look at the music while you know which one is the correct answer and see if you can find out why and kind of figure that out. So, and then we're going to get started with our theory pages, also in this book. And our first lesson is on sharps. So sharps tell us what key we're playing in, and if you read through the instructions on each page, make sure that you read through all of that information. It's just going to be talking about the order that we do sharps for when we play, and it will introduce all of this to you and then give you some opportunities to fill it out and write in the key signatures as well. So take your time and practice this. Maybe do one of these pages a day because I think that there are about 6 pages of this. So maybe do just 1 page a day until you feel like you really understand these sharp key signatures. As always, if you need any help or have any questions, have the grown-up who's at your house give me a call or an email and we can set up a meeting to talk and help you. Please send me any videos of your compositions or you playing, and excellent job today and happy playing this week, and I will see you next time.